The Arkansas legislature recently voted to force trans students to use restrooms that match their birth gender. And they also banned several books that include trans characters. So it's war on trans people in Arkansas. So Alex Barnett, who's a junior at the University of Central Arkansas, said, oh, and by the way, when the ban was being discussed, the Arkansas legislature heard testimony from a fellow by the name of Cal Paulson, who said, and I quote, speaking of trans people, God gave them over to a depraved mind so that they do what they should not be doing. They invent ways of doing evil. But let me remind you that those who do such things deserve death. So here's a guy calling for murdering trans people before the state legislature, an official under oath testimony. I'm not sure if it was under oath, but anyhow, in official testimony. Not a single legislator on the Republican side objected to that comment. Not one. And later, they unanimously approved the bathroom restrictions and the book bans. So Barnett, Alex Barnett, this junior at the University of Central Arkansas, he says he organizes a protest. He says, ultimately, when I'm fighting for trans rights, I'm also fighting for my own rights. If you don't show up for people who are marginalized, the people who are facing the most severe oppression from government, if you don't show up to help them, then you're screwed when they come for you. Pastor Niemöller? Yeah. So this was the Conway School Board, right? And it's been taken over by Republicans. And so he and about 20 students from the University of Central Arkansas decided to show up and protest these anti-trans policies. Excuse me, I said that it was the legislature in the beginning. It wasn't. It was the school board. My apologies. So they showed up at the school board meeting and were told, sorry, no seats in the room. So they said, well, we'll stand by the back wall. And they said, no, you can't do that. So they went outside and sat in the hallway, outside the meeting room. About 30 minutes into the meeting, he and his group started chanting, Trans Lives Matter. The police officer asked them to leave. Everybody left but Barnett and two other people. Those three were handcuffed and stuck in 3 separate rooms. Their actions had interrupted the meeting for a total of 8 minutes, by the way. Barnett has no criminal record. He has not even a traffic violation. And he was offered a plea deal. Hey, just plead guilty and apologize to the school board and we'll let you off. And he said, no, I'm going to defend myself. So he goes to court and says, I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, I was there. Yes, I protested, but that's protected by the First Amendment. I didn't do anything wrong. And the two police officers who were there testified that he intimidated the school board members and the people at the meeting. Intimidated them. They weren't even in the same room with them. Intimidated them. So District Judge Chris Carnahan finds Barnett guilty and sentenced him to 10 days in jail and a $650 fine. Now, who is this judge who just threw this University of Arkansas student in jail? By the way, when he showed up in jail, his cellmate advised him that once he was transferred to the holding cell to the general population, he would be surrounded by white supremacists, and he shouldn't tell them that he was there to defend trans people or they would beat him up badly, or worse. So anyhow, who's the judge who put this college student in jail? Well, Carnahan is the former executive director of the Arkansas Republican Party. He used the slogan, finally a conservative judge, when running for office. He collected tens of thousands of dollars from Republican Party committees, even though the races are nonpartisan and such contributions violate the Arkansas Judicial Code of Conduct. This judge posted, Let's Go Brandon, and a tribute to Rush Limbaugh on his Facebook page. On his campaign website, he says, I'm a member of Gun Owners of America and the National Rifle Association and a follower of Christ. He likes on Facebook the Family Council Action Committee, which is a hate group, and the Arkansas affiliate of Focus on the Family, another hate group, anti-LGBTQ hate group. So there's going to be an appeal. We'll see how it plays out. But hey, standing up for what you believe in Arkansas apparently gets you thrown in jail because the judge is such a good Christian after all. Meanwhile, what happened in Tennessee and then happened in Montana has now spread to Oklahoma. I'll tell you about that after the break and pick up your calls. Stay tuned.